Hey, how y'all doing? This is Sherrita C W Delacruz, and we're on the Figures of Speech Talkcast, powered by Blast, Music 24/7, Esoterica Entertainment, and you. Today, we have the pleasure of having lovely Austin, the CEO of Onyx Urban Media Group, on with us. Come on in.
Hello, hello.
Hey,
How is everybody?
I'm doing all right. How are you today?
I am amazing. Very honored to be in the presence of greatness.
Oh,
One of the
likewise.
dopest poets I've heard, dope writer. I'm honored.
Oh, likewise, man. I'm so glad to be able to get you on here because you are one of the most significant forces in our area.
Oh my gosh.
We represent North Carolina, y'all, by the way.
Hey, yes.
And are excited to do so. Let's hop right in. Let's hop right in. First of all, tell us where you're from.
I was born and raised in a very small town called Sanford, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Yep.
familiar.
And I
All
moved
right.
around a lot and then ended up in Greensboro.
Have you lived other places?
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. A lot. Several places here in North Carolina, from Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham, and outside of the state. So I've been in Florida a couple times, New York, Brooklyn and Yonkers, DC for a little bit. Oh my gosh, Colorado, Seattle for a really short time. Let me see. I feel like Atlanta as well. So yeah, I moved around a
Gotcha.
lot.
I entertained the thought of moving to the Pacific Northwest. I'm a fan of rain, so it wouldn't have bothered me.
Oh my God.
Um,
It's beautiful.
right. I absolutely love it. It's just lush. I think that would be the one word that you would describe the Pacific Northwest as.
Yes.
Um, I was gonna take a job as a GM for Five Guys, but they weren't gonna pay me enough. I can still make that amount of money on the East Coast. There's no need to travel all the way across the country for that little piece of change. And don't get me wrong, I'll take it, but it just wasn't ideal.
Yeah.
But yes, that had to be exciting to live out there. Did you ever
It
get a
was
chance
beautiful.
to? Did you ever get a chance to go see Mount Rainier?
I could see it. I could see it from where I was. So it was
What?
beautiful. Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that had to be amazing.
it was. Yeah.
So, what brought you back to North Carolina?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, what initially really brought me back, family, really. My dad passed away, and it just didn't seem worth it to be so far away from family. After that,
Yeah.
I ended up moving. After that, I did end up moving away again, only because I loved. This was Colorado. I loved Colorado. It was beautiful. It did become
Mm.
a little bit different. The first time, okay, so the first time I moved there, my daughter was really young, and it was a beautiful place. I love the people. I've never seen the mountains there. I've
Mm.
never seen anything like it.
The Rockies
And
are amazing on
oh my
paper.
God,
I can
I
only
almost
imagine
had.
waking up to the Rockies every day.
Oh my God. I moved to Colorado Springs and I lived on the third floor of an apartment. And every time I looked out, I'm looking dead at the Rockies and like somewhat close range. And I never got tired of looking at it. I would just sit out there and stare at it on the balcony. It was beautiful.
Mm.
I really wanted Colorado to be home for me, which is why I ended up moving back. But it was not in my destiny to stay there. And I ended up having to, I don't want to step ahead too much, but it was one of those things where God told me, okay, it's time to move back. And I'm like, what you
Mm.
mean? I, I just went through so much to even get here and be here. I was
Yeah.
literally homeless
Yeah.
for like 6 months in Colorado
Mm.
in the winter. And waking up to your car being overflow with snow and you shivering. Like I went through a lot that second time I went to Colorado, just for me to get an apartment, get established, and get settled. And God say, hey, it's time to move back to North Carolina. And I'm like, what?
Why?
Oh my God. It was a purpose for me here. And I was out of where I was supposed to be. So as much as I argued with God and said, I don't think so, that's a losing battle, right?
Absolutely. We can always, what they say, the funniest thing you can do is tell God your plan.
Right. And I was like, I literally was like, no, I'm not, no. I went through much to get, no. And then something happened that literally forced me to go back. And I said, okay, God. Okay.
Now that's the pits.
Yeah.
You and I probably share many years between us, right? So that is totally the pits whenever you, get where you think you need to be, and God says, no.
Yep.
And you better listen, or He's going to force you out.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, you can say no if you want to, but expect things to happen.
Absolutely.
You can be out of position and to where God can't bless you, where, things are supposed to flow. I feel like all of us have a purpose. And if we step outside of what that is, then you get smacked back. It's going to happen eventually, or life is not going to be going well for you. So it's one of the two is going to happen. So you have to, at the end of the day, you have to choose purpose.
Absolutely. I like that. We're going to keep that. Choose purpose.
Yeah.
So you're back in North Carolina after you said, I built up what I needed to build up to start a great foundation in Colorado. I'm back in North Carolina. Like, what did you discover about your move back that was more apparent to God than you?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, it was one of those things where, again, I'm still kind of angry at God.
Yeah.
So I get here and I'm like, okay, what? Like, that was my attitude. I was so mad. Yeah. I'll never forget that time in my life. And so honestly, and I'm very grateful, because with all my anger and frustration, and feeling like I lost time and money and oh my God, once I got back here, things started flowing so effortlessly. I started meeting the right people, getting in position to have things happen here. And it's one thing, we might want to question ourselves when things in our lives, everything seems really hard to accomplish. We got to kind of step back and ask yourself why. Because you may not be doing what you're supposed to be doing, or doing something the way it's meant for you to do it. And I've learned that you have to really just be mindful of how your life is flowing. I literally have moments in my life where I stop everything and I'm like, okay, am I going in the right direction? What part? I literally have to sit in silence. I meditate a lot, and I'm like, okay, you get in that moment or mode where you only hear from spirit, that you only hear from God, and try to figure out if you are going in the right direction. And it's easy to fall out of that. You know what I'm saying? Life is busy, things happen, and you kind of get out of that mode of connecting, and connection, because that's very important, that alignment and connection with God. And once you get out of that, again, easy to do because you're busy, then we have to kind of step back and be like, okay, wait a minute, hold.
Pause.
Am I going in the right direction here? Because at the end of the day, I feel like if you're not, you're wasting time.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're in a study about the book of James for church. Shouts out to Maximizing Life Family Worship Center.
Hey.
We're in a study about
Pastor and First Lady Rojas.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Those are my people. Yes.
Hey.
Let's see. We're in the Book of James for the 21-day plan, and a lot of those things are just really just getting yourself positioned, right? Talking about positioning, even in Bible study, talking about good choices or God choices, and the 7 pillars of decision making and God. It's just, you really have to be in tune and aligned consistently, or you can very quickly fall out of position, because the enemy definitely is trying to take us off our balance consistently. When did you realize, though, even before Colorado, even before Seattle or Atlanta, like, when did you realize that you were destined to be a multimedia mogul?
Oh my God. Oh, honestly, I don't think I've actually wrapped my head around the fact that that's what I am. With me, let me say this. I
You are
never
her.
wanted to be an entrepreneur. I never wanted to
Really?
be a leader. I never wanted to start
Wow.
anything. That was never, ever my goal. How I ended up doing this is, oh, you know what? I would love to do camera work. You know what? I would love to have my own talk show. You know what? I would love to do some filming. You know what? I would love to do photography. I would love to have my own radio station. I would love to have a magazine. That's how that started. It was never, oh, I want to make money and be an entrepreneur. Like, my whole mindset wasn't on that. It was on just creating these avenues, and they really were just inspirations. It was just like, boom, it was like it was set in my spirit, and it was like I was like, I have to do it. And once I set my mind, like, yes, it ain't gonna be too long hence before it happens. So
That's right.
yeah.
So
I didn't know, like, to answer the question, I'm sorry, I really didn't.
Oh no, you're fine.
know. It kind of started when, oh my gosh, it was about 2012. No, I'm gonna say sooner. I'm gonna have to say further back than that. I don't think so. Further back. Okay, let me just say, I put a camera in my hand. I don't even know what inspired me to do it. We had a family vacation when I was 17 years old. I rented a camcorder, and I fell in love with it. At that time, I really didn't even know that I was going to end up in that field one day. I fell in love with it. I never forget my mom saying, Keisha, put the camera down. And Keisha's my first name, by the way. Lovely is my middle name, Austin last name. So she would say, Keisha, put the camera down and enjoy yourself. I said, you don't understand. I am loving this. Like, I just wanted to see everything, the entire vacation behind the lens. And I guess I should have figured it out then, but it took me a few years to figure it out. So I think about 32, between 32 and 35.
Got you. And your love for capturing images that grew into what is now Onyx Urban Media Group, or did you create an entity for just the photography?
Oh gosh. So everything. So first of all, let me say this. I started off everything being purpose. So it was Purpose Productions, Purpose TV, Purpose photography. Everything was purpose because that's where I felt like I was. So I literally named my entire company Purpose, just after purpose. It just evolved. It kept layering. So it started with wanting my TV show. So I knew a person, shout out to Henry Moore III, that actually did my first talk show. He recorded like the whole season. We had an audience. We had people, everybody that was interviewing come up. And in watching him, he filmed it and then he was editing it. So in watching him edit, I was like, I want to learn that. Oh my God. How did you get just this picture, what you recorded into a production? I was fascinated. So that's when I learned, and he helped me, but he was very hard. He was hard on me because he didn't want anybody to think that he influenced my work or that he was doing my work. He wanted people to know that it was me. So he only showed me a couple things and he said, you're on your own. You're going to learn everything yourself. And I was like, why? But it was a good move. It was I appreciate him for that. I learned a lot from him. And it layered. So it started with Purpose TV, Purpose Productions. And then it's like almost every year I was adding something else to the plate. So after that, the next year I added Purpose Photography. And the only reason why I added Purpose Photography is because people kept asking me, how much do you charge for photography? And I'm like, I'm not a photographer. I do video and I've taken some pictures. I posted the pictures and then people were like, yeah, how much? And I was like, no, I know a million photographers. I can refer you. And then somebody said, why are you turning away money? I said, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm not a photographer. I've not learned that. And someone else said, well, learn it and get that money. And I was like, okay. So I started learning and I started only charging like really, really small amount of money because I knew I needed to learn the art of photography. It is completely different, videography and photography. Completely different. Photography is way harder than videography.
Really? I would think the videography is harder because of the technical aspect of using software or other types of equipment.
Editing can be hard. And it's one of those things that you either love it or hate it when it comes to editing. Editing requires a lot of patience. So yes, so that part of it, but to just hit record on a camera, the only other thing you really have to make sure is that the person is in view, that your angle is right, and all these other little technical things. It's really with the eye. If you have the eye already, it's way easier.
And you had the eye.
Yeah, I had the eye. So it was easy for me. Videography was natural. It felt natural for me. Photography, and I'm not saying photography isn't natural because you still have the eye, but then there's all these settings in a camera. So you can have, you have to learn aperture, lighting. I mean, it's so many things, and you have to make sure that your shutter speed is right. And if it's not, the photo ain't gonna come out right. And then you're sitting here fiddling with the camera. Meanwhile, your subject is like, okay, what we're doing,
right.
And there's a lot. Oh my God, it's way more difficult to me. Way more difficult.
So let me ask you, do you have formal training when it comes to any of the things that you have created?
Nope. No formal training at all. I never went to school for it. I went to school for computer graphic art and animation. Nothing to do with photography or videography. That was a natural thing for me. And, I got tips from people, but no formal training at all. And everything else that was self-taught.
Amazing work.
Thank you.
My gosh. So how did you come up with the name Onyx Urban Media Group after the Purpose brand? What made you, let's make that a twofold question. What made you change your Purpose brand to Onyx Urban?
Okay. We all go through different phases in life, and we grow, we change. And it's not that I walked away from purpose. I felt like my purpose ended up changing. So with the change of my purpose, I rebranded everything to Onyx because Onyx is Black is us, and my purpose changed to be more directed to our people. So I decided I was like, onyx. And I would never forget the moment that I was trying to figure out the right name that just felt right. And I came up with onyx, and then I'm like, oh, it's the community, we're urban, and oh, okay, wait a minute, onyx urban. Oh, I'm a media company. Okay, so Onyx Urban Media Group, because it's a lot of stuff that I do. Oh, boom. And I came up with all of that in one day.
Wow.
And my mind was
catchy.
on it.
It's so catchy.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah.
It literally just bleeds culture and style.
Thank you.
Like anything that's onyx is like sophisticated.
Yes.
I always thought of like the stone, the onyx stone is a sophisticated stone because it's so. I can't explain it. When you hold one in your hand, I think when I was a kid, they used to have different stones and stuff in school when we were studying. What is it? The study of the ground, sedimentary, and igneous, and all that. Igneous rocks. And I think, I don't know if onyx is one of those stones that is made from volcanic activity, but I just remember we came across an onyx stone, and it was just black, and you could look like you could see through it, but then you couldn't, and it's just really, really mysterious thing. And so you think of sophistication, you think of I'm at a loss right now, but yeah, onyx is a word that just really sticks out. And of course, just the way the rest of it flows, it just, like I said, you are a multimedia mogul, and that is what I see you as, because you do so much. I mean, you've done an award show twice. You've conceptualized podcasting in your realm. You've done a short film. I just want to, I have to settle down so we can format this correctly. So we know where it all came from. What was the first thing you did whenever you rebranded as Onyx Urban Media Group?
The first thing that I tried to organize after rebranding was Onyx Shield. And Onyx Shield was formed. Okay, so the way my brain works and the way I am, I am very conscious of what I give my energy to. I'm a Cancer. I feel a lot of stuff. I'm empathic, so I feel a lot of people's energy. I always have. So I'm real conscious about energy and all of that. That all that matters. So when it came down to, what was happening in our community, the Sandra Bland's incident, Trayvon Martin, I got to my wit's end when it came down to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. So I was like, you know what? I didn't give it a lot of energy. I wasn't pretending like it wasn't happening, but I felt helpless. So because I felt helpless, I was like, I can't give this but so much of my energy because there's nothing I can do about it.
That part.
After George Floyd, I said, you know what? I'm tired of this. What is there? And I reassessed. I said, okay, is there something that I can do within what I know, within my power in any way, shape, or form? Is there something I can do? And I said, well, maybe. So I started Onyx Shield in an effort to bring our community more together, for us to know who we are as a people, our history, because a lot of us don't know our history. self-defense skills, also weapons training, because I just really feel like there's going to be a time where we are going to need to know that, where we're going to need to grow our own food, where we are going to need to know the law, financial literacy, all of that, land occupation, like we need to know all that. And I just wanted to form something to give us an avenue and or an area to learn that, and just go forward from there. Politics as well. So after the emotions of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor kind of tapered down, it was all the protests and the whole 9 yards. After that tapered down, participation in Onyx Shield slacked. And, I'm not a person that like to force people to do anything, like to beg people to do anything. I just let things be as they are. If people want to continue to come, they will. If not, but it got to the point where there was very little. People just got back to their lives and, back to entertainment and all of that. Mm-hmm. So it didn't matter anymore. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I'm just going to put it on the shelf and hope to bring it back one day. So after that, I just decided, shout out to DJ Rio. He had Smack City Radio. And I went to him. I went to him because I love the station. Like, I love what he was doing. And I said, hey, you remember Quiet Storm type, remember that? I said, you know what? It would be really cool if y'all had a Quiet Storm type of show on your station. And he was like, okay, why don't you do it? And I'm like, no, I wasn't saying
the idea. I don't want to.
I was like, not me.
Just thought it was an idea.
Right. I was like, yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. I wasn't suggesting me. And he just kept saying, I think you should do it. And I was like, well, maybe. All right, let me flirt around with it, okay? And sure enough, I started Sensual Seductions, a radio show on his station. Definitely display that more sensual side of myself, which I don't normally display. So it was kind of like a little bit of an outlet for me.
Absolutely.
And I actually fell in love with doing it. Then his station went on hiatus. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh no, I got to the point where I really loved doing the show. So in my effort to continue Sensual Seductions on something, another platform maybe, or I didn't know what to do to keep it going. So I started doing research and I said, well, wait a minute. If DJ Rio was able to create a whole station, how hard would it be for me to do that too? And so I started doing research on that and seeing what all it took to do it, how much it was going to cost, all that. And I was like, okay, I think I'm going to do it. When I started, it was like going back to school. I had nobody to teach me either. Like, I literally had to figure stuff out on my own. And I ended up doing that. And I even had a moment. I talk to myself all the time. I know people say, oh, if you talk to yourself, you're crazy. Oh, okay, well, I'm crazy then. I don't know what to tell you. I talk to myself all the time, and it helps me stay focused. So yeah, and I said it was so hard and so much work, and I said, all right. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, and I had a real moment with myself, and I said, all right, Keisha, look, are we doing this or not? Because if we're doing it, we're going to commit to it. If we're not going to do it, just go ahead and let it go now. Don't put any more energy into it. But if you're going to do it, stick with it and don't complain about it anymore. And I was like, okay, I don't know if it was God speaking through me or what, but I felt like I was chastising myself and forcing myself to make a decision. And I was like, okay, oh God, okay. And I committed to it. And it is what it is right now to this day. So I'm really, really fortunate on all of that.
I'm so grateful that you didn't stop. The whole thing about being able to continue on something that you really enjoy that was partnered with someone else, it's it's hard when it looks like it's someone else's vision, but in reality, you brought it to him, so it was yours anyways.
Yeah.
And you had to take it and run with it. And it, like you said, everything was just layered.
Yeah.
We're at the midpoint, and we're gonna go check out our Blast Artist of the Week. But when we come back, we're gonna continue to talk about the layers that are Onyx Urban Media Group. All right.
All righty. So, great topics, ladies. Today's Blast Artist is presented by Blast Radio 247. If you would love to listen to some independent artists all around the world, go to blastradio247.com and check out some up and coming amazing artists that are available on our station. So today we have one of the pillars of Blast. This is a brother that is he's from Texas, and this is Yamasani with Circle of Life. Let's check it out.
Oh, now that's real. Pops a rolling stone and flattened grass fields. My mandatory raps a passive act spill. React like Drax will relax, I'm past chill. This manifestation of imagination is just a creation of communication with an integration system like the Matrix, filled with entertainment, pastors education. Court-appointed lawyers for blacks in litigation. Corporate enormous tax cut and evasion. Saw George Floyd on the news and couldn't take it. It's hard to tightrope, walk it all, but I'm a Grayson. One day we not gonna be passive with the slaying. One day we might just put action to the saying. One day we'll stop all the blasting and the spraying and stop carrying weapons that will smith you like Jaden. To be free to you, to them is disobeying. They told you to get into heaven, you needed praying. They left out the heavens, your thoughts, and where you haven. It's not you, it's we, it's deep, it's complicated.
One day you have it, one day you have it, go away. One day you have it, one day you have it, go away, go away. Don't take it serious, serious. It's an experience, experience. Don't take it serious, serious. It's an experience, experience. Shine bright like a solar light. No, we can make everything alright. Yeah.
Shine bright like a solar light, and know you can make everything alright. Yeah.
Shine bright like a solar light. You know we can make everything alright. Yeah.
Shine bright like a solar light, and know you can make everything alright. Yeah, you gon' get it today. I'ma send it your way. This a clinic, don't forget every visit you pay. It's cringeworthy to say I've been perfect, cause hey, the kids calling my name. I'm too busy to play. This a scrimmage, shirt skins, the ending is late. Life's a scary movie with hands digging your plate to take the dividends, dollars and pennies you make. I'm transparent with you, even when you really opaque. Marcus Aurelius states, everything you hear is an opinion, not a fact. But is that really the case? Cause we all know planes leave a chemical trace, and we knew he was guilty. You see Zimmerman's face, and we all want to crash in the video chase, and we want that hottie to let us feel on her waist, and we know one day we will see God's grace transcend our body and be up in outer space.
Bright like a solar light. No, we can make everything alright. Yeah. One day you have it, one day you have it. Shine bright like a solar light. You know we can make everything alright. Yeah. One day you have it, one day you have it. Don't take it serious, serious. It's an experience, experience. Don't take it serious, serious. It's an experience, experience. Shine bright like a solar light. No, we can make everything alright. Yeah.
Shine bright like a solar light, and know you can make everything alright. Yeah.
Shine bright like a solar light. You know we can make everything alright. Yeah.
Shine bright like a solar light, and know you can make everything alright. Yeah.
That was Yamasani with Dr. C. Rich with Circle of Life. And if you are an independent artist or a spoken word poet or up and coming comedian that's looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But Blast is also looking for the fans of great music. So you too can also go to blastmusic247.com, register as an unlimited fan, and get access to hundreds of independent music. So there's the QR code. Break out your Samsung, break out your iPhone, scan it, and it brings you to blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time. All right, ladies, back to y'all.
Thank you. Man, that's one of my favorite songs by Yamasani. Wasn't it awesome?
Yeah, I was grooving for real. I loved it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, we've talked about the radio aspect of Onyx Urban Media Group. What made you delve into all the other forms of media that is Onyx Urban?
Well, okay, let me just say all that I do is photography, videography. I'm so sorry. I edit everything. So editing. I have Onyx Urban Magazine, which is an online magazine, the online station. So those are, and graphics and apparel. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting.
It's okay. It's layers.
It's so
okay.
many.
That's the thing. I want you to hear yourself say this because
Oh my God.
that's why you're a multimedia mogul.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I'm like, oh, you know what? It'd be cool. Let's do this. And then I do it. And I don't know. Like the apparel line. I was like, you know what? Let me delve in that market. Like, yeah, what do I have to do to make that happen? Okay, boom. And then I don't know. I just do stuff and I don't think real hard. I feel like if I overthink it, because I can overthink things, I just train myself not to do that. Because I end up talking myself out of doing something that could be really wonderful. So it was just like, I just did it, and now my daughter is over it. She runs it. She does the designs and stuff now. So that's one less thing I have to do myself. So she's
right.
Amazing. She's a great help to me.
That's right. So I saw that in your journey of between Purpose and Onyx Urban, you had done a lot of work with networks and different people. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Millard, yes. So the first person to put a camera, a professional camera, in my hand to work is Armanda Hancock out of Sanford, North Carolina, but he does a whole lot. He's done a lot of work nationwide. So he has Armanda Hancock's Inspirational Network, where he does a lot of interviewing, going around interviewing famous people and things like that. So he was the first one. Major shout out to him, because if I didn't have that experience, I wouldn't further know. After the whole thing when I was 17, he was the first person after that. And I think I was like 21 or so. And he just slapped me. He just said, oh, this is what you do. Boom, boom. Have at it. And I was like, okay. Okay. And that's when I really knew I had an eye, because I'm literally shooting for this dude. And I didn't have any training, and I did well. So it was like he kept, getting me to do a lot of stuff for him. So I really appreciate it. He was the one to let me know, for real, like that through that experience. Let me say, I knew that I was in love with, visuals, camera, all of that. And then after that, I got hired actually as a salesperson for TV 67 in my hometown, Sanford, North Carolina. Another major shout out, Robert Ortega was the production manager, and he convinced the owner of the station for all of us to go down to the Stellar Gospel Music Awards, which at that time was in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So Robert knew that I really, kind of like my desire to one day have like a show or whatever. But that was really, it was a small desire at that time. It wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah.
But he was the first person to put a mic in my hand and said, go interview this person. No training, no knowledge. He didn't even say, hey, this is how you do it. No, he said, here, go. And I had a moment. It was a moment of, Keisha, do you freak out and say no? Or do you just overcome your fear? Because it was scary. I didn't know what I was doing. And these were famous. These were not just, they were famous people in the gospel music industry. Kurt Franklin, Vicki Winans. My first interview was Lee Williams, of that group. And it was just a lot of people that I was afforded to actually interview for the first time through that experience. Ever. Like, I never interviewed anybody prior to that. So had I just succumbed to my fear, that wouldn't have happened. And I just feel like my life may have gone in a different direction. I don't know. But that major shout out, like, I got a lot of firsts, and a lot of people took chances on me, and I told people to take chances on me too, and they decided to do that. And it went well. After that, a few years not even a few. I think it was like either the next year or the year after that. I decided on my own to go to the Stellar Gospel Music Awards, and I snuck in to the media room because at that time I wasn't working with the station anymore. I
didn't have a pass.
Yep. I didn't have a pass or nothing. I snuck in there.
Wow.
And so through that experience, I met another Robert White, who was the producer of Lift Every Voice when Gerard was hosting it. This is back in the day. Okay, I'll be 50
It's
in July.
Okay.
So.
We can tell stories. I mean, God bless your life. God bless your life. So this is your 50th year.
Yeah.
So it's about to be exciting times for you.
I'm excited to be turning 50. I don't even know why I'm excited, but I am so excited.
You better be excited. God is good.
Oh my gosh. So we started talking, and I was kind of toward the back because I wasn't supposed to be in there in the first place. So, as people were getting their awards, they would come into the media room. So there's all kinds of cameras going, and the interviews and stuff like that. And again, I'm kind of in the back, and every now and again, listen, this is the funny part. I went in there with, remember the Kodak zip 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 camera?
No. Not the 110.
I went in there with a disposable camera, and I just be like, chip. And I said, "Oh my God, somebody's gonna find out I'm not supposed to be here and kick me out." But anyway, so I was in the back, and one of the tables back there, Robert White was sitting at. Oh God, I'm about to cry. Was sitting at, and he was like, "Hi," and I swear I didn't see him. I don't know. I think I was just like so nervous of what was happening in front of me. I wasn't looking behind me. So he was like, "Hey," and we got to talking. And I was honest with him. I was like, I ain't supposed to be in here. Like, I was in here before, like when I was with this, but I'm not now. And, I told him my story. And he was like, we just started talking. And I told him my experience. And he was like, we could use some help here and there with Gerard's show, like when he's not able to fill in. And I'm like,
what?
Okay. And next thing you know, I'm at BET doing some like behind the scenes stuff. Like, I don't know if you remember, because it was so many years ago, the Winans family tour. It was like all the Winans, and they went on this big tour. So in Atlanta, so what happens behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know, when it comes down to these interview shows, sometimes the host is actually not there interviewing these people. They splice them in editing. So
Yes.
it was one time he would use me sometimes for that reason. I'm actually the one talking to them, but nobody sees that. They see Gerard doing it. So he used me for that and anything else that he needed, me to do behind the scenes for the show. So, my name is on like a couple of those episodes as I think as an assistant or something. I don't know, but let me tell you while I'm on that real quick. I don't want to take up too much time.
Girl, this is your hour.
Let me tell you, it's not been too many times that I would freeze in front of a celebrity, like completely like, let me tell you, the first time, the first person, I was fine with everybody. I went back there with all the Winans, Mom, Pop, Winans Phase 2, the Winans, BB, and then CC Winans came down the hallway. In my mind, she was floating. She was so beautiful. And
yes,
it was such an energy with her. The anointing is what I call it. And it was so big. I don't know what it was. It was so big. And I had to do the fill-in interview. And I looked at Robert and he was like, and I just grabbed his hand and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No." I said, I'm not okay. He was like, "Oh my God." And we're kind of doing this, like we're around them. So we're kind of having a little side, like, "I'm not okay." He was like, "You okay?" I was like, "No, I'm not. I don't think I can do this." We having like this little conversation kind of quietly. And he was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "I don't think I can do it. I'm a freeze in front of her." And he ended up doing it.
Short.
I hate that. That was one of the times, it's very few, but that was one of the times that I really allowed my fear to interfere with, what could have been a great moment, for me.
You're going to get another chance.
Those that I would say.
You're going to get another chance to interview her. You're going to speak that thing into existence. You're going to get another chance.
That would be amazing.
Really are. Absolutely. Listen, so we've gone through all the wonderful layers of Onyx Urban Media Group. The last thing that I want to talk about before we get into how you overcame the challenges that you overcame to get where you are today. Mm-hmm. The Onyx Urban Media Awards. What made you want to do an award show?
Okay. I have always been fascinated with award shows. Always. Every time I would see one.
The glamour.
What it was for me was, how did they do? It was the behind the scenes stuff. How did they get the camera? Like, how was that camera done? How was where I'm having a little brain fart here, where they have the words, like where was that positioned at? How were they able to see that? That lighting was amazing. The background, the sound, like the production part of award shows fascinated me. And I had a desire to like be in one of those back rooms making an award show happen. That was I was like, I would love to do that one day. And then when I had Onyx Urban Radio, and just to let you guys know, Onyx Urban Radio, we only play indie artists. Only. We play no mainstream music because I felt like they need a bigger platform, indie artists, and to be heard around the world. I just really, and I wanted that to be what was different about my station. So we only play indie artists. So I felt like, with that being said, there's the what's the music award? The Grammys. Am I thinking right? There's so many award shows out here. Sorry. So the Grammys honor mainstream mainly, right? So I said, now that I have this platform, I want to bring that same honor to some of these indie artists. So I decided, hey, well, Keisha, you know what? You always wanted to do be behind the scenes of an award show. Well, create it. I'm all about creating things because I hate people. I hate when people complain about something and do nothing about it. I'm not gonna say, you know what? I don't feel like indie artists get enough recognition. They should be getting awards. Well, create the platform for them to get an award. And so that's what I did. And it was focused on the indie artists that play on the station, and honor some of those people who have done a lot of groundwork, especially in the community when it comes to music altogether. Mm-hmm. So that's what made me start the Onyx Urban Media Awards.
Wow. Because in this area, I mean, I look at it from, you know, the national award show is the Grammys, obviously, but then there's regional shows, and then I guess you would say, municipal or city-based shows. Yes. The Queen City Awards is a regional one. The SEAs is one for this area. I know there have been the Artist Block Awards. Yes. There was the featured highlight awards, the ACE Awards. Mm-hmm. There's another one, the GOAT Awards.
Yes, but that's tonight, actually.
Mm-hmm. Shouts out to all the nominees and the folks that make that show happen, by the way. Then of course, Onyx Urban Media Awards. Like, so it's it's a daunting task, but such a fulfilling opportunity to gather people in one place and honor them. Even, you know, just me personally, I thank God for you for even, you know, giving me the opportunity to play on your station, to be nominated as a nominee of the Onyx Urban Awards. Featured highlights gave me my first nomination. Nice. I was up against Main Man and a couple of other individuals, but posthumously, I hope they would have given that to him, because, you know, that happened in the light of COVID. So I want to say 2020. So I'm not certain what the result of that was, but graciously, just to even share the opportunity to be a nominee with Main Man was amazing. And even all the artists that you had in the same category as me, it makes us as artists feel like a milestone has been achieved. And even like when you consider things like the Grammys, to be a Grammy nominee is like, oh, at least, I mean, that's like, I mean, of course, winners don't get sprinkles, but honorable mentions,
right?
The nomination is an honorable mention, and just, you know, to put you in a position to be like, I got it. I got what it takes to be able to win. And that's what Onyx Urban has given a lot of us. And so I thank you on behalf of everyone who has ever been nominated or even won. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to shine, even for just a moment.
Yes, it's an honor. It really is.
Thank you. And so, segue into the challenges that you have overcome to put yourself in this position. Of course, we know God is the center of all of the things, because heck, he brought you back to us from Colorado, so we're grateful, right? You love helping people, evidently. Where does that stem from, beyond the work, beyond your passions for technology and behind the scenes work in entertainment?
Oh my God. I don't think I've ever been asked that question. I don't know. I have always been a big advocate for people. Even when I was young, I would always like take up for people that I felt like was getting picked on and things like that, I would defend them.
Yeah.
And I just have always had a heart for people, and loving to see people happy and succeed. I've always been a cheerleader. I never understood hating someone or hating on someone for something that they're doing. I just don't understand that mentality. Encouraging people, it's just, I don't know, it's innate, it's in me to do. It always has been.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's, I don't know, God given, I guess.
That's right. Do you find
see everybody win? I'm sorry. I just want to add
that's
that.
right. That is my whole perception as well. I want to see everyone win. I think that before I understood it, I embraced it. I just didn't know what it meant. But everyone's got their own lane. Even if you're doing the exact same type of thing that someone is doing, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do it.
Right.
A great example of that is hip hop music as we knew it. I mean, of course, we know about the current music, but I can just take upon the things that I know very well. You can talk about rappers. You could say Big Daddy Kane, Kool Moe Dee, LL Cool J, Ice Cube. They're all in the same game.
Yeah.
But they all have their own contribution in their own lane.
They do.
And so, there's no room for hate to exist if you are true to yourself and know what your purpose is.
Thank you.
Exactly. And I'm glad that you said that like that, because people need to understand that part. There's no room for hateration in this dancery.
I know that's right. Oh my God. I don't understand it. I don't understand the mentality. We really, I wish we as a people would, and this is a whole nother, and I know that we are getting kind of close to our hour, but I need us as a people, as a community, to stop being crabs in a bucket. I need us to support each other, not tear each other down. So, and if you feel like somebody's doing something that you don't feel is right, you can go to them in love. It doesn't have to be hate. It doesn't have to be argument, confrontation. It doesn't have to be a comparison. Like oh my God, I'm so passionate about it. I'm sorry. I just feel like we should support each other.
Yes.
Build each other up. Stop with all the hate. Oh my God, it just irritates my whole soul. I'm sorry.
Me too. No, me too. And when I was younger, I used to shut down on it because it was just so overwhelming. But as my faith in God grew and my journey progressed, I learned to understand that it's really a battle between good and evil ensuing here on earth. It's a physical and a spiritual realm that we exist in. And once you begin to understand how to navigate that, I mean, of course, deep down in my soul, I still have that same passion about it as you do, that it's like, it just irks me when I see that someone is really just deliberately trying to stand in someone else's way.
Right.
You can't do that, especially when that gift that person is exuding is a God-given gift.
Right.
God is going to take care of it all. He sees everything. He sees everything.
That's true.
Goodness gracious. This has been such an exciting time. And I actually have more for you, but at the same time, I know that you're a busy woman. I know that you have an afternoon full of things to do. And I do too. So we're gonna, what we're gonna do is ask you to come back and see us again when the next opportunity arises. Can you do that for us?
I would love a part 2. I would love it. It's so much more that I want to say, and I know that we wanted to dive into like the whole menopause thing too as well. So it's so much. Yes, girl, just let me know. I will carve out time for you. I
really appreciate you today. Absolutely. And I thank God for you and all your work. And I I pray that you continue to allow him to lead you in the directions that you are to be led to continue to serve. Where can we find you?
Everything Onyx Urban is www.oumg.net. So Onyx Urban Media Group, OUMG.net. Don't do .com. You won't find me. So even the radio station, the magazine, everything is under that same umbrella. Social media, everything is at Official Lovely Austin for TikTok, which we don't know what's about to happen with that. Instagram is Official Lovely Austin. My Facebook, and I have a lot of Facebook fan pages. So almost every entity that I have is on I have a fan page on Facebook, but my personal page is Lovely Austin as well. So, and if you want to, if you send a friend request or something like that, a note or whatever, yeah, definitely. And you can also, everything is on the website. So I don't want to take too long, but everything is on the website. If you are an indie artist and you want your music playing on the station, if you go to either oumg.net or onyxurbanradio.net, they will take you to the same place. Right below where you can hear the music is a form that you can fill out. It's just an email, and I'll get it up on the station. I run it almost pretty much everything myself. So I will see it. I will put it on the station myself, and I'll let you know.
All right. You guys got all the information. So many different outlets and ways to get it done.
Yes.
Guys, don't miss these opportunities to reach out and have your music played, to be interviewed, all of the things, right? Listen, it's been an amazing time with you, and I hope you have a great, great day.
Thank you. You too. Thank you for having me.
This is Lovely Austin, the CEO of Onyx Urban Media Group, and I'm Sherrita C W Delacruz. Thank you for tuning into the Figures of Speech Talkcast. You can find us on YouTube, Blast Music 24/7. You can also follow me on Instagram, SCW Delacruz. And we're out. God bless y'all.